Hi everybody, and welcome back to Teachers Talk Money, where I help teachers master their money in order to give back to themselves. I'm so excited for this video today. We're doing my net worth update for March. This is the third month of the year, which means this is really also sort of a quarterly net worth update. And in general, I've just been feeling really great about my net worth updates lately. I think because now that I'm sort of in a place with my money where everything is more stable and a lot of things sort of happen automatically, or I just go into my budget to set it and then track, but I don't really look at my accounts that frequently anymore. It's so nice to have a dedicated time each month to do a deep dive into what all of my accounts are looking like. And of course, I love doing these net worth updates because I love showing a real world, specific, clear example of what a good financial plan pans out to look like. I love watching net worth updates from other creators, and I love being able to give that to you guys, especially as a teacher. So let's get started and dive into all of my different accounts, starting with my investment accounts. We'll get started here with my Roth IRA today, and right now the total amount in my Roth IRA is $13,208. This is up from last month, $140, but I actually contributed $300 to this out of my stimulus check, and so this actually saw a decrease this month of $160. This can definitely be attributed to the fact that I captured my numbers for my February net worth update, and then like a few days later the market started to go down. And so this is sort of just kind of showing the difference between the times when I captured my February net worth and my March net worth update, which while these come out at the end of the month, I tend to capture it, you know, a week or so ahead, or maybe in the mid-month. So to be expected, this is the first time my investments have passively decreased instead of passively grown. And this is a trend that I saw in both my Roth IRA and my 457B. So let's take a look at my 457B now as well, and then we can sort of see all of the passive income losses we saw this month. So for my 457, the total amount is $8,406, which is up $696 from last month, but once again, I actually contributed $720. So this saw a loss of $24. So all in all, I lost about $184 in my investments this month. Not a huge hit, so that's good. I certainly will see much bigger losses month to month than this in the future, and that is something that as a long-term investor, you need to sort of be anticipating so that you never panic and pull your investments out at a loss. Now let's talk about my pension, which I have categorized here under investments, but as you guys know, I actually kind of just consider this a savings account. I only track the contributions that I make to my pension. And the reason for that is that I plan to retire early. And in my district, if you really look into it and read the fine print, I can take out all of my contributions from my pension as soon as I leave the district or retire, but I will not get the interest that has been earned on that pension. So since I'm already planning to retire early, this is not really an investment account for me. This is more of like a forced savings account. And of course, my contributions are the same as they always are at this rate of pay that I'm getting, which is $359. Then I have my supplemental pension, which, as you guys know, the system only updates this every year, so I won't really know until June how much money it grew by this year, but it's still sitting there at $514. And once again, I'm only tracking the contributions to this one because that is what I'm guaranteed to get back, even if I leave my district or retire early. Now let's get into my savings accounts, which I pretty much just have in two categories. I have my emergency fund and then all of my other savings, which are essentially all sinking funds. My emergency fund is valued at $5,030. This went down $4 from last month. What happened is I moved my emergency fund to a higher yield savings account through an online banking system that I was already using to sort of get a little bit more money with the high yield, although that's not super worth the time right now since interest rates aren't amazing. but I also did it to get that higher yield in addition to putting it in an online banking system I was already using for other things to just kind of consolidate and simplify my finances a little bit. So those $4 were like closing fees and final fees and things like that. Then we have all of my other savings accounts. This includes my savings for summer, which is kind of a lot right now. I think I have over $2,000 in that right now. My savings for education, which I added a lot to this month out of my stimulus check in order to gear up to take a ton of classes over the summer. So most of this huge change of $1,372 is from putting a lot of money into my education fund. Also, it includes my travel fund, which I contribute to every month, as well as my gift fund and my car fund for repairing my current car or eventually replacing it. And all of these total up to $10,480, which again, most of that change was putting money into my education fund. That was one of the other things that I did with my stimulus check. So let's take a look at all of the totals now. I have all of the totals that we've previously mentioned here, and they total up to be $47,155. It never ceases to amaze me how crazy these big numbers sound coming out of my mouth, because obviously, like, I'm still a 20-something, I'm a teacher, and I have never had anywhere close to this much money to my name before, so it still is keeping me humble each and every month. Now, the monthly change I saw I'm very satisfied with it, but it is a lot lower than it has been for the past 2 months, January and February 2021. The monthly change was $2,573, which again, that's a lot of money. I'm very happy with that, but it is lower than the past couple months because these first months of 2021 have brought in a lot of lump sums of money, including my partial stipends, now 2 different stimulus checks, and something else, I think. Oh, there was a 3rd paycheck in January. So essentially, there have been just a lot of lump sums, all things that I've earned other than the stimulus check, of course, and all things that I expected to get, but still they're just sort of coming all at the same time. When it rains, it pours, I guess. And so my change for January and February, plus the market being really good at those times, meant that I was seeing really large increases, and now it's sort of getting more to a normal, like expected level of increases, I would say. This is pretty close to like my average per month last year, which is cool. And then for my year-to-date change, which is the part I'm most excited about, we are at $10,980. I am blown away by this because, as you guys know, my net worth only grew by 20K in 2020, only, as if, again, these are huge numbers to me, and they probably are to a lot of teachers listening to this too. But to see that just in Q1 of 2021, that I'm already halfway to the point of growth I saw last year is really, really mind-blowing to me. Now, we have to take some things into consideration with this. For example, I don't work over the summer, so I drain out my summer savings in the months of mostly July and August. And so it is going to go down. I'm expecting like, you know, a little bit over $3,000 kind of out of that automatically off the top. So it's not totally like I've hit such a great milestone automatically up front in Q1, but it is pretty cool to see that, especially considering that I lost some money in my investments this month rather than the growth that I will typically see. So I feel very satisfied with this level of growth so far. So let's talk about my passive income reports. In January, my investments grew passively by $410, and in February they grew by $1,185, which were 2, again, really awesome months for growth for passive income, and also just like, again, all of those lump sums of money coming in made it easier for me to contribute more. and save more, etc. And then of course this month they decreased by 184. And I'm kind of realizing now that I didn't include the $4 decrease for my emergency fund in this, so I guess technically it would be 188, but for the purposes of the rest of this video, so I don't have to re-record it, we'll just call it 184 for now. So yeah, I lost a little bit of money this month, but again, for the entire year to date, so again, Q1 of 2021, I've still earned about $1,000 through my investments, which is awesome. Essentially, I have, through investing consistently over time, given myself a $1,000 raise so far this year. And again, we're still in the first 3 months. Just showing you this to show you an example of how awesome passive income can be. So that's pretty much it, but let's take a quick gander at my graph of my net worth versus date change. By the way, every time I show you guys this graph and I say graph, I think of like the Nickelback music video where they change it to look at this graph. It's so hard for me every time not to laugh or mention it. So I'm mentioning it now, I'm putting it out there, and now you know. There are no secrets between us. So as you can see through the graph, the rate of growth again slowed down a little bit this month. Like, it's less steep than it has been for the past couple of months, but we're still seeing some pretty good growth. You can see the dip from last summer, which I'm expecting a similar dip this summer, probably even a steeper one, just because I think I'm planning to live on a little bit more money this summer out of my savings that I've been contributing to each and every month. I'm really excited to see that we're approaching the 50K mark. Fingers crossed that next month I can pass that 50K mark, because that is an insane milestone. That's $500,000. I just realized that. That's really crazy. I feel like I'm kind of having an existential crisis about like not being broke, which is weird because obviously I haven't been broke or poor for a very long time in my life, but I don't know, seeing these numbers is like kind of mind-blowing to me. But it feels really good at the same time. I feel like I'm reaching my goals. I feel like I'm not sacrificing really anything in my budget month to month. And I really want this feeling for every single teacher and every single person that is watching this video right now. If you're ready to get started on budgeting, you can get my budget templates that I use month to month if that's going to help you, and also my money map workbook below, which is actually like I think a super underrated product that I have made. I'm so proud of my money map workbook. It's only $9 and it has all of these exercises for sort of fixing your limiting beliefs and taking you through step by step the process of budgeting and sort of setting these bigger goals. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I've never really super promoted it in a video, but I think I really need to start because I really believe in this product. So I don't know, I thought I'd mention it here in my net worth update. If you feel inspired by some of the stuff that you've seen, a lot of things in the description below that could be really, really helpful for you if you want to get to this place yourself. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Please feel free to subscribe, like it, give me a comment if you have any questions or comments, or just if you want to show some support for me and help me out with the YouTube algorithm. As always, it really does mean the world to me. And I hope that you all have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week for my April budget, which is going to be probably a little bit more scant than what we saw this month, having a stimulus check and all that. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!